Hi, this is Kamera Points in the Bible, day number 25, Exodus chapter 22 through 24. Guys, the regulations that God gave the children of Israel, gave Moses to give to the children of Israel, it shows us that rules are important to govern. When you have a group of people, rules are important so that we can live in harmony. Not everybody's going to do right. People usually do whatever they feel. So when they do what they feel, our heart can be deceptive. And in order to live in harmony, there has to be rules in certain areas. And whenever there's a new rule, I usually say somebody broke something. Somebody broke something and they needed to find a way to fix it. Traffic lights, there's a reason we have to drive the roads in harmony. Crosswalks, there's because they're there. And jaywalking, why jaywalk when we have the cross walks? It's so that we can work together, so that we can live in harmony. So there are rules that were, or regulations that God gave so that, so they can live together. For instance, if someone has an issue with someone stealing the ox, when someone steals the ox, what happened? What should we do? How should we handle that? If someone a fire spreads and someone's feeling it goes over to someone else, how should we handle that? If their animal goes over into your feeling and graze your land, how do we deal with that? I'm just saying, those are the regulations that God had given Moses. Disputes over ownership of an animal. If someone seduces a virgin, if someone has sex with an animal, how should we treat foreigners, sorcerers, idolaters, widows? How should we do that? How should we worship God? Offerings that we should give God, that type of thing. When lending money, how do we deal with that? God also said don't spread rumors. He says, don't follow the crowd that's doing wrong. So he tells us how to live a moral life, a life of integrity, and how to deal with disputes. Those what those regulations were all about. He also told them about when they plant their vineyards and they harvest, do that for 6 years, 7 years, let it rest and just live off of what's grown. And he also says, don't call on the name of any other gods. And he tells them how to celebrate 3 major festivals unto him. So those are the regulations. People have an issue with rules, but rules help govern a group of people. You have to have some type of rules. Free will to kill? Really? No, there has to be rules to govern that type of behavior. There has to be punishments. And how do we handle these disputes? Not everybody's going to follow the rules, so you have those rule breakers. The rules so that everybody can have their own and do what they have to do. But he also taught them how to have kindness toward, like, help a person if their animals go missing, help them out. If they're struggling with something, help them out. He points that out as well. Those are those regulations. He had to teach us, guys. So God says, he tells Moses that he's going to send his angel ahead of the children of Israel to prepare them, that place where he sent them, that promised land, go ahead of them. He's going to protect them and keep them safe. He said, pay close attention to my angel. He says, do not rebel. He also said that he was going to send terror. When the children of Israel go to invade, he's going to send terror amongst the inhabitants. He said when they invade. He didn't say when they go out to battle. When they invade. And that's one thing we have to, the God who we serve is telling us you don't have to worry about your enemies. They are non-factor. I will put terror in them. I will grant you favor with them. This is what he's teaching us. He's teaching us who he is. When we are his, what he'll do for us. Same God, guys. Same God. But don't worship those other people gods. I love when he says, he says, I'm going to allow, some of the inhabitants to stay there. Because if I send them away too soon, then the land can become overgrown, desolate, while animals will overtake, right? he says, so they have to stay there, but do not imitate them. Do not imitate their ways, serving idols and doing those things. He says, be careful or you will fall into that trap. Yeah, isn't that something? He tells them that when they have grown and multiplied, then he'll send them away. But there is something they need to do. There's something we need to do, guys. We live in a world with different opinions. People have different opinions. A lot of people don't believe in God. They do their own thing. They live without God. They live their own ways. Money is a big issue now. Sex is a big issue. They have their way of doing things, which God is not, for. And money, fine, but how we use our money. He don't want our money to be our God. He don't want sex to be treated a certain way. He doesn't. There's things he wants us to follow. He tells us not to imitate those people, those actions. He's telling us not to imitate, and that it is a trap. It's a trap. He tells us to remain holy. And we like to allow certain things, but God says don't. He tells the children of Israel, when you see those pillars that they've created, tear them down. Tear down those pillars. Tear down those pillars. Yeah. We don't have to accept and embrace anything that's not of God. And what we're doing is we're embracing that stuff. Why? Because we don't want to be that person, right? I'd rather please God. Yeah, don't worship other gods. And so the Lord had Moses and a couple of people, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, to go up to the mountain along with 70 elders. And they were able to see God, and they didn't die. They actually had a meal with him as well. Isn't that something? And when God needed Moses to go a little bit further, he told him to go up. So it's just him and Joshua, who went up a little further. The other ones he sent back, and he told them that Aaron and her is there to help with any disputes. So Moses is up there with God, getting those commands, writing on the tablet. He's going to be there for 40 days and 40 nights. So there you have it, guys. If you have any points you'd like to add, please add them in the comments. Please. There you have it. Points in the Bible. Day number 25. Exodus chapter 22 through 24. You have a God-filled blessed day.